Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to learn the lesson Chapter 8 Environmental Issues. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the topic Allied Invasive Species. Allied Invasive Species. The invasion of allied, that is foreign species or introduced species disturbs ecosystem process, threatened biodiversity, reduce native herbs, destroy our native herbs, and thus reducing the ecosystem services. That is benefits. During eradication of this species, the chemicals used increase greenhouse gases. Slowly they alter the ecosystem due to the introduction of the allied species. It is slowly alter our ecosystem, microclimate and nature of the soil and make us unfit for growing our native species and creating human health problems like allergy. It results in local environmental degradation and loss of important local species. According to World Conservation Union, invasive allied species are the second most significant threat to biodiversity. It alters our habitat loss. What is invasive species? A non-native species to the ecosystem or a country under consideration that spread naturally interferes with the biology and existence of native species and poses a serious threat to the ecosystem, and it also causes changes in our climatic condition and causes economic loss. These species are called as allied invasive species. It is established that a number of invasive species are accidentally introduced through ports via air or sea. Some research organizations import germplasm of wild variety through which also it gets introduced. The allied species with edible fruits are usually spread by birds. Invasive species are fast growing and are more adapted to any type of environmental condition. They alter the soil system by changing litter quality, thereby affecting the ecosystem. It affects the soil community, soil fauna, and the ecosystem. This invasive species has a negative impact on decomposition in the soil by causing stress to the nearby native species. Some of the allied species which causes environmental issues are discussed in this lesson. For example, Icornia craspis. It is an invasive weed native to South America. It is from South America. It was introduced as aquatic ornamental plant which grows faster throughout the air. Its spread growth is a major the waterways hampering agriculture, fisheries, recreations and hydropowers. The next one is the Prosophis julifera. Prosophis julifera is an invasive species native to Mexico and South America. It was first introduced in Gujarat to counter desertification and later on in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu as a source of firework. Desertification means it slowly changes the soil into a desert. It is an aggressive colonizer and as a consequence the habitat reduce many species getting lost from our native land. By employing conservation management strategies like germplasm conservation, in situ, ex situ, in vitro methods, the endemic as well as threatening species can be protected. First is the in situ conservation. It means the conservation and management of genetic resources in their natural habitat itself. Here the plants or animal species are protected within the existing habitat where it lives. Forest trees, medicinal and aromatic plants under threat are conserved by this method. This is carried out by the community or by the state conservation, which includes wildlife, national parks and biosphere reserves. The ecological unique and biodiversity rich regions are legally protected as wildlife sanctuaries, national parks and bioreserves. Megamalai, Satyamangalam Wildlife, Gindi and Periyar National Park and Western Ghats, Nilgiris, Agastyamalai and Gulf of Mannar are the bioreserves of Tamil Nadu. The next topic is sacred groves. These are the patches or grow of cultivated trees which are community protected and are based as a strong religious belief system which usually have a significant religious connotation for protecting community. They protect the plants. Each grows is an abode of a deity, mostly village gods or goddess like Ayyanar or Amman. 448 groves were documented throughout the Tamil Nadu, of which 6 groves were taken up for detailed floristic and faunistic studies. Floristic and faunistic studies. This groves provide a number of ecosystem services to the neighborhood like protecting watershed, fodder, medicinal plant and microclimatic control. The next topic is ex situ conservation. It is a method of conservation where species are protected outside their natural environment. This establishment of botanical gardens, zoological parks, conservation strategies such as gene, pollen, seed, in vitro conservation, cryopreservation, seedling, tissue culture, and DNA banks. This facilitate not only provide housing for the plants and also care for endangered species but also have educational and recreational values for the society. Endemic centers. The endemic centers and endemic plants. Endemic species are plants and animals that exist only in one geographical region. Species can be endemic to large or small areas of the earth. Some are endemic to a particular continent, some to a part of a continent, and others to the single islands. Any species found restricted to a specified geographical area is referred to as endemic. It may be due to various reasons such as isolation of the species, interspecific interaction, seed dispersal problems, site specification, and many other environmental and ecological problems. There are 3 mega centers of endemism and 27 micro-endemic centers in India. There are 3 mega centers of endemism and 27 micro-endemic centers in India. Approximately one third of Indian flora has been identified as endemic and found restricted and distributed in 3 major photogeographical regions of India, that is Indian Himalayas, Peninsular India and Andaman Nicobar Islands. Peninsular India, especially Western Ghats, has high concentration of endemic species. Hardwickia, Binata, and Penticta candapana are good example for endemic plants. So the endemic plants are the plants which only grow in a particular habitat. A large percentage of endemic species or herbs are belonging to families such as Poaceae, Apiaceae, Asteraceae and Orchidaceae. Majority of endemic species are threatened due to their narrow specific habitat. They are only grown in a particular environment, and reduced seed production only produces less number of seeds and low dispersal rate. The seed dispersal also very poor, less viability seeds nature. The next, carbon capturing and storage. Carbon capture and storage is a technique of capturing carbon dioxide and ingest it deep into the underground rocks to a depth of 1 kilometer or more. That means the excess carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere is removed by this method. And it is an approach to mitigate global warming by capturing carbon dioxide from larger point sources such as industries and power plants and subsequently storing it instead of releasing it into the atmosphere. So there is the capturing of the more amount of carbon dioxide from the industries and power plant, and it is stored in a proper manner. It does not causes any harmful effect to the environment. Various safe sites has been selected for permanent storage in various depth geological formation, liquid storage in the ocean and solid storage by reduction of carbon dioxide with metal oxide to produce stable carbonates. It is also known as geological sequestration, which includes inject carbon dioxide directly into the underground geological formation such as declining oil field, gas field, saline aquifers, and unminable coal have been suggested as a storage site. Here, in this method, the excess of carbon dioxide is removed by the environment and storing it into the ocean is called as a carbon sequestration. The next topic is carbon sequestration. Carbon sequestration is the process of capturing and storing carbon dioxide which reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere with the goal of reducing global climatic change. Carbon sequestration occurs naturally by plants and in ocean. Terrestrial sequestration is typically accomplished through forest and soil conservation practices that enhance the storage carbon. As an example, microalgae such as species of Chlorella, Sandamus, Chlorococcus, and Chlamydomonas are used globally for carbon dioxide sequestration. Trees like Eugenia caryophyllata, Tecoma stans, Cinnamomum verum have high capacity and noticed to sequester carbon. That is, these plants are used to capture the excess of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere. Macroalgae, large-sized algae and marine grasses and mangroves are also have the ability to mitigate carbon dioxide, to remove the carbon dioxide from the environment. The next topic is carbon footprint. Every human activity leaves a mark just like our footprint. The carbon footprint is the total amount of greenhouse gases produced by the human activities such as agriculture, industries, deforestation, waste disposal, burning fossil fuels, directly or indirectly. It can be measured for an individual, family, organizations like industries, state level or national level. It is usually estimated and expressed in equivalent tons of carbon dioxide per year. The burning of fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. In turn, this emission traps solar energy and thus increasing the global temperature, resulting in melting of ice, submerging of low-lying areas, and imbalance in the nature like cyclones, tsunamis, and extreme weather conditions. To reduce the carbon footprints, we can follow some practices like eating only indigenous fruits and fruit products, such as eating of only Indian fruits and food products, reducing use of electrical devices, reducing traveling, avoid buying fast and preserved processed packeted food, plant a green garden, reducing consumption of meat and seafoods. Poultry requires little space, nutrients, and less pollution compared to cattle. And reducing use of laptops, line drying class. If you buy imported fruits like kiwi, indirectly it increases carbon footprint. The food has traveled a long distance in shipping or airliner, thus emitting tons of carbon dioxide. Biochar. Biochar is another long-term method to store carbon. To increase plant ability to store more carbon, plants are partly burnt such as scrap waste woods to become carbon rich, slow decomposing substances of materials called a biochar. It is a kind of charcoal used as a soil amendment. Biochar is a stable solid rich in carbon dioxide and can it ensure in soil for thousands of years. Like most charcoal, biochar is made from biomass via pyrolysis, that is heating biomass in low oxygen environment which arrest wood from complete burning. Biochar thus has the potential to help mitigate climatic change via carbon sequestration. Independently, biochar, when added to soil, it can increase soil fertility of acidic soil, increasing agricultural productivity and provide protection against some foliar and soil borne diseases. It is a good method of preventing waste woods and logs from getting decayed, and instead we can convert them into biochar.